Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alt Kings podcast. I'm your host, Tate, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Matt Bailey, the founder of GameOn and the man who oversees all of Karateka. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good, Tate. Thanks for having me here.
It's an honor to have you. We've seen many big things with what you're building out with Karateka in the space. Very thankful that you're building this out on Hedera, as Hedera is very sustainable, very efficient, and there's a lot of big partnerships within this. I know you have ties with Karate Combat, one of the biggest martial arts and Karate Combat sports entertainment, I guess you could say. Just martial arts and mixed, I'm trying to figure out the best word for it, just overall combat sports. It's very entertaining to watch. And what I'm curious to know now is, who are you and what is your role on the Karateka team?
Yeah, so first of all, at GameOn, we build games. We've been building games for 5 years now. So not AAA games or console games, but things like prediction games, fantasy games, games that are dependent on sports outcomes. So in the past, we've worked with the likes of NBC Universal, Bravo, the WNBA, Dick's Sporting Goods, and various other traditional sports organizations. And then over the past couple of years, we've taken a deep dive into Web3. So now, before those games, creating playable NFTs that often we won't even call NFTs to sports fans. They're things like playable digital fighters for Karate Combat, but it could be playable digital footballers, playable digital horses and jockeys, playable digital anything.
Nice.
But then you use them in games, in those same games that I mentioned, the fantasy games, predictor games, card battle games. So we do that, and we work with sports IPs, leagues, and teams to launch products around their content. And with Karate Combat, we've launched a product called Karateka, which we're launching playable digital fighters of every single fighter in the Karate Combat League, 200 of each. That you'll be able to buy and use in fantasy games. So, if you own certain fighters and they are winning in the pit, you win outside of the pit. You can win things like cash, karate tokens, trips to events, pit side tickets, training sessions with the fighters, lots of fun money can't buy experiences. Where we're at right now is we've sold out the VIP pre-sale, which has already happened, and have already thankful to sell thousands of Karatekas already. And then we have another event happening late next week around the next Karate Combat event, which will be your next chance to own a Karateka. So stay tuned on that.
That is very exciting. So Karate Combat, from my understanding, has over 200 million plus digital views per month, 4 million plus social media followers. Brand ambassadors includes George St. Pierre's, Bas Rodden, and Kyoto Mashiada. And it's one of the first sports leagues to become a DAO. And it also pledges to give away 50% of karate tokens to fans and fighters. You mind giving me a rundown of this karate token before we dive more into the NFT aspects of Karateka?
Yeah, I mean, the karate token, first of all, just a disclosure, it's not GameOn. It's coming from the league itself, but obviously we're quite close to the league. So I think I can do Dave and the team justice by talking about it a little bit. But essentially, they're launching their token this week on Friday, tomorrow, actually. So by the time you're listening to this, it's probably already launched. But the token itself represents ownership in the league. So you can earn that as a fan by, engaging in Karate Combat. And the best way to do that is via their app, Up Only Gaming, which also launches tomorrow on Friday. And you'll be able to pick who you think will win the fights for next weekend's match. If you get it right, you win karate tokens, which represent ownership in the league. If you lose, you don't lose anything. You're not risking anything. You're just winning. So that's why it's called Up Only Gaming. And I think, it's revolutionary. They're one of the first leagues, or the first league, to actually execute this kind of vision that's really buying into Web3. And I think it, similar to, a few years ago, we saw Top Shot be a pioneer of getting, Web 2 fans into Web3 and kind of being that bridge across. And I think Karate Combat are going to do similar here.
That's very exciting. Where by chance is this karate token launching? Is it going to be on one of Hedera's dexes or?
You would have to check in with the Karate Combat guys, but I know 50% will be on Hedera and the other 50% on Ethereum.
Gotcha. Okay, nice. It's going to be a little bit of cross-chain, get some of that Ethereum exposure. That'll be nice.
Exactly.
All right. So we have the pre-sale event coming in a little over a week from now. By the time this releases, it'll be less than a week. Tell me a little about this pre-sale event soon to be releasing.
So we like I said, we've already launched the VIP pre-sale, sold out. Next week, where we have a limited general pre-sale. So if you're watching the Karate Combat event, or if you keep an eye on our Twitter and our Discord, you'll get an instruction on exactly how to enter the dojo and buy yourself a Karateka. If you buy yourself a Karateka during this pre-sale, you'll get a bonus. I think it's a card pack or two, because that comes with gear. And you can gear up your Karateka with different things like weapons and shorts and different types of things that can actually improve how your Karateka performs in the games. So you get a free card pack or two, I believe.
Nice.
And then the Karatekas then will not be revealed until July, when you actually know who you got. And then you'll be able to use it in the fantasy games thereafter. So we have a very short window next week. I think it's a 3 or 4 day period where you can go in. I think we're only selling 500 next week. So
very
it's
small
really
supply.
limited. Yeah, it's a discount to the general sale. And it's just an opportunity to get in there and get a hold of your Karateka before they hopefully sell out in a few months. We'll have several other allow lists happening, and then the full sale will happen in June. So
yeah,
we're kind of down that roadmap and path now over the next month or two.
So you're selling 500 this coming May 19th. Public sale will be June 23rd. How much are we selling these for on May 19th by chance?
We are selling them for 30 a month or two later.
Okay. That's very exciting. Will you be able to utilize and purchase these with Hedera natively, or will it just be fiat?
Both, I believe.
Both. Okay, nice.
Yeah, and by the way, the reason why those Karatekas are at the public sale, they'll only be $39.99. The reason why they're so quite cheap is because we received a grant from Hedera, and we decided to pass those savings onto the fans themselves and the buyers themselves. So at first we were going to sell them for more. We received the grant, and we're like, you know what? Let's make these NFTs cheaper for the Hedera community. So.
Well, that's a very nice blessing you're providing to us HBARbarians, that's for sure.
Yes.
I'm curious to know more. So once the public sale event happens in June 23rd, we soon will be coming across the Karate Reveals and the Quest game releasing around July 5th. What is this Quest game going to be like? Is it going to be more or less a play to earn, or how will it really pan out?
So the Quest game incentivizes fans to collect sets of collectibles.
Gotcha.
So it's a collection style game. For example, I'm making this up. This may not be the actual Quest, but for example, it might be collect one male and one female fighter. If you do that, you earn this many karate tokens, or you go in a raffle to win a trip to Miami and go to the next event.
Wow.
Another Quest might be collect one fighter from each continent. It's a little harder. You might already have 3 or 4, and then you want to go and get the other few. And the first person to collect one from every continent wins, a signed merchandise or whatever the prize might be. So it's that kind of collection style game, and that's the first game that will roll out. It's called Quests. If you think of everybody knows the McDonald's Monopoly game, where you would go and buy fries and Coke just so you could kind of peel it off and complete a quest. Essentially, it's similar to that, but in the digital world.
Okay, nice. That's incredible. I also saw a thing that said watch fights win prizes, over $300,000 worth of prizes to combat sports fans. What type of prizes are there going to be for those who watch to win? Today's episode of the Alt Kings podcast is brought to you by X Spectre.
So first of all, cash, so
Cash.
real hard fiat, we'll be giving away. Then there'll be a karate token, which we're also be giving away. And then just think of money can't buy experiences. So things like meet and greets with fighters, signed merchandise, trips to watch fights, pit side tickets, all kinds of fun combat sports related stuff that you'll be able to win by competing in the games.
Oh, that's incredible. I mean, I know people love money, that's for sure. And if they're able to win it just by watching, that's a pretty big incentive. I'm
Yeah,
fairly,
and the other thing as well is that people play more than anything for the bragging rights.
yeah,
Like, I
that's
don't know
true.
if anyone's plays fantasy football here. When I used to play in my office pool, when I used to work in the corporate world, I used to work for the Brooklyn Nets in New
Wow.
York. We used to do an office pool every year for fantasy football, and you know what? I didn't want to win for the couple $100. I wanted to win to walk around that office as the fantasy football champion. So that's the other thing here with sports fans. While the cash and the tokens and everything is cool, really you want to stake your claim as the most knowledgeable karate combat fan.
That is a great point. I guarantee I'm probably not going to be as knowledgeable as some of these top Karate Combat fans, but I'm curious now, how were you able to make that partnership with Karate Combat? And how did that really evolve into what it is today?
So we actually have a shared investor.
Okay.
His name's Keyboard Monkey. He's a bit of a Twitter crypto guy, and I've known him for 10 years. Met him when I first moved to New York a while ago. And then he invested in GameOn. He also invested in Karate Combat, and he connected the dots and was like, you guys should speak. This was about, I'd say September, October last year. So I live in Miami now, and I drove up to Orlando where they have the events. Last year they had the events there, and I was just blown away. I was like, wow, how did I not know this existed? And then we just kind of hit it off very quickly, put pen to paper, and now we've been working on the product over the last 6 months or so. So we're just at that time now. We were kind of quiet for a long time. Now we're talking to folks like you, and we're ready to kind of show everyone the products.
Yeah, I'm very excited for all the products soon to be releasing. And you're right, you guys have been quiet for quite some time. And I mean, just recently, within these past few months, I've noticed that you've came to life more and have shown a lot more engagement within the Hedera ecosystem. And it's nice to see, because what you guys are developing is something that is quite sustainable for the ecosystem. Whenever you look at NFT projects nowadays, and considering we're in a bear market, a lot of people look at them and they want to know that, their money's safe within these projects. We've seen a lot of rug pulls, and we've seen a lot of people lose quite some substantial amounts of money within investing into projects that just aren't sustainable. It's because of how they establish themselves and how they act like a business, and how they try to portray themselves as a business and as a sustainable business. But at the end of the day, they don't know how to manage their cash flow, and they don't know how to be sustainable. And it's unfortunate. But this business model right here, with how you're developing out these games, how you have this big partnership with Karate Combat and all the ambassadors on board with them, it just seems as if it is a very sustainable business model. And so with that being said, I'm curious, moving forward within your whole entire game ecosystem, we have the live fantasy game releasing Q3 of 2023. How will that emerge and evolve within quarter three?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, gone are the days of speculating on NFTs. That's not the future. That's not how you build a sustainable business. It's not how you reward investors. It really is just speculative on stuff that actually isn't part of the business. Sure, you can have some fun and make some money from it, but we set out to build a real business. And first and foremost, we're a next generation fantasy game platform. It just so happens that we're leveraging the blockchain and Web3 to build that, because we believe it's the best technology. The fantasy game is at the core of what we're building. The fantasy game, in fact, first was a Web2 game for soccer in Europe, the EPL, nice. And it had millions of users playing, so we know it's a successful product. And for our Karateka fans to be able to take their Karateka before a live event, put it in their fantasy lineup, equip it with gear in the last second, increase the stats a little bit, and then apply boosts during the actual event. So do things like stop everyone ahead of them from earning points for the next minute, or
Wow.
they themselves earn double points for the next 3 minutes. Things like that that are actually tied to the real live event, we think is going to build the ultimate second screen experience. And keep in mind as well that while Karateka is our first real IP partnership, we can take that and apply it to any sport around the world. It could be NFL, could be EPL, MLB, NBA. If we're able to strike a partnership with them, which we're having many conversations, we'll be able to, in a matter of months, be able to replicate that for a different sport. So that's really exciting as well.
That is very exciting. I know that there are a lot of, emerging industries that are interested in Web3. And it's just a matter of, making those right connections and connecting those companies with the right people. Because, at the end of the day, there's good people and there's bad people. And the bad people will take advantage of the good people, and the good people will help, the people who are wanting to make a change for their own. And it's nice to see somebody like yourself at GameOn and, willing and working to make those right connections with the right teams. And starting with Karate Combat, I think that's just a great way to get the ball rolling to, succeeding within the Web3 space. I just look forward to everything that's to come with potential new partnerships with new teams down the line. I see that you also have eventually down the line, obviously this is quite some time away, but we have the live Canasta game as well as the PvP Pit Fighter Combat game. You mind telling me about this live Canasta game? I think you just, mentioned a little bit about it earlier, about how you're able to, stop your opponents from possibly earning points while the matches are going on, or is that not a part of it?
I think you're referencing the fantasy game. So that's that.
Okay.
And then
Gotcha.
there's the PvP card battle game. So
Sure.
Outside of the live events, you and I will be able to go head to head with our Karatekas at any time of the day, and they'll battle each other, and one will win and one will lose based on the stats and the gear that you've equipped it with. So that allows us to engage and be rewarded at all times of the day and week and month, not just on that kind of event day every month. So that's what the card battle game is. Think of it like a Pokemon style card battle.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, and that should come out by the end of the year.
That's incredible to see. I think people really like that just because it's like you said, that Pokemon style type of game. You got to collect them all. You got to get your character or your fighter to the best and the highest levels it possibly can be, so you can beat everybody at the end of the day. That's quite exciting. It seems as if there's so much to come, and within these next few weeks, we'll start to see a really nice rollout of what's to come with Karateka. What I'm curious now is with Karate Combat. So you said that they were fighting last year in Orlando, and it's quite unfortunate. If I would have known about Karate Combat last year while I was living in Orlando, I definitely would have went to a fight or two. But where are these fights typically based out of now? I'm assuming they're still in the States.
Yeah, the first 3 events this year have been in Miami. So I'm
Nice.
based here in Miami, so it's not too far from Orlando. And then I believe the rest of the schedule will be announced soon. So I think they're looking at other places in the US, also looking at some international destinations. So you'll have to stay tuned to the Karate Combat channels, socials, to really understand and see where they're going to have their next events.
Sure. Well, that's very exciting to hear. I'm curious to know now, Matt, what's this experience been like developing out this game and developing out your vision of what Karateka can be and, the future behind it? How's it been so far?
I mean, it's been great. We've loved it. The direction that we're heading in right now, kind of going from a Web 2 gaming ecosystem to a Web 3 driven next generation fantasy platform. Well, we've never felt like there's been a clearer vision for the company. Working with IPs like Karate Combat and hopefully some other major leagues that we'll be able to announce soon. is really driving not only what we think will be our biggest engagement levels, but our biggest revenue drivers as well, not only for us, but for the leagues that we're working with. So we're excited about this direction. We're excited about how it's resonating with Web2 native sports fans, because we're presenting them a Web3 product in a context that they're familiar with. So they'll be able to go on and play and engage, sometimes not even realizing that they're touching the blockchain, because that's the way it should be. The way I like to explain it is, when you download an app, does it tell you first whether it's using AWS or Google Cloud? No, because that would be weird and confusing for the everyday consumer. In the same way with Web3, we should be leading with the benefits of blockchain, like ownership and rewards, and leaving all the technical stuff in the background for most Web2 fans. So we're trying to kind of appeal to both audiences there, both the Web2 and Web3 native ecosystem. And it's really important, and we're excited about kind of this direction and vision that we're executing on now.
Nice. So one of my last questions for you, Matt, what are some of these revenue models that you're starting to really build out and you see as the most sustainable revenue models for GameOn and working with these companies, or not these companies, building out these various games within your own ecosystem?
So first of all of those games are built at a platform level, and which means at a platform and a multi-tenant level, which means that when we work with new partners, we're never building anything from scratch. That's most important. It means that we're scalable. So if the NFL came to us tomorrow and said, I love what you're doing with Karateka, can you do it for the NFL? We could be selling playable digital footballers in a matter of a month or two, not 6 or 12 months or longer, and have the games live and everything. So what's most important for us was, first of all, to build it in a way that's scalable. Then second of all, target major league IP. So after Karate Combat, we're going to be bringing on plenty of other really exciting leagues. And I'd just say keep an eye out for news on that. That's what we're working on right now. Is first of all, let's make our technology and our product scalable. Second of all, let's bring on the biggest and most exciting leagues and IPs in the world.
Couldn't have said it better. I truly look forward to everything that's coming with you at GameOn and Karateka. I appreciate your time once again, Matt. And if there's any closing thoughts that you'd have, now's the time to say, and I appreciate your time.
No, I'll just say, I'm fully accessible to everyone listening. I really appreciate the Hedera community fully has supported us and was a big part of selling out our VIP pre-sale. So if anyone wants to reach out, matt@gameon.app. Send me an email if we might have an allow list spot or something special. If you want to reach out, give us some feedback. If you're looking to get into the Karateka project and want to do it directly via me, let me know. I'm always loving to have a chat and talk to people, even meet people. Actually, I'm going to Chicago this weekend just for a friend's birthday, actually. But it just so happens one of our Hedera community VIP pre-sale members are in Chicago. So we're going to catch up and have a beer and talk about all kinds of exciting Web3 and sports stuff. So please reach out to me, matt@gameon.app. I'm always happy to answer questions and have a chat.
Amazing. Well, Matt, thank you for your time once again. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Alt Kings podcast, and we will see you all next episode. Peace.